Hey everybody, this is Herschel from High School Top 200. This video is brought to you by Fine Line Barbers in Hamilton. Go down to my boy Vinny at Fine Line Barbers who owns a shop, get a haircut. Sit down and say High School Top 200 and get a discount off your haircut. He's a real good dude, real good fella to talk to as well. So hit him up, drop High School Top 200 and get a bit of a discount off it. I'm going to be doing videos of head-to-head matchups and games. I'm going to be starting with Mags versus Salyn Boys High School. And I'm going to do positional battles from guys who I think are a good matchup for each other, and guys who I think who are sort of at the same level, and that will give a good head-to-head against each other, and basically push each other right to the end of the game. I'm gonna do it for all the games, so I'm gonna do it for all these first games first, depending on who wins and loses. While I'm down there, I'll be doing the rest. But I'm gonna start off with Mags and Salyn Boys High School, and I'm gonna start off with the two halfbacks, because I think the two halfbacks may be the closest battle, I guess, besides a couple of props. But I think the two halfbacks will be the most interesting as well. Salyn Tonuu, who is ranked number 118, and versus Renton, who is ranked 31st on the top 200 list. Now, don't look at the 118 and 31 and think like, oh, there's a big massive gap, because there's not. Because when it comes down to halfbacks, there's Jay Renton's third and Salyn's fifth or sixth, something like that. So, like, when you look at it that way, there's not really that big of a difference between the both of them. So when I was looking at these two, I thought, well, how am I sort of supposed to separate them in terms of when you watch them? Because in a halfback role, both of them fulfill the role that you need them to do, and because obviously they've got different dimensions to their game in terms of the way that they play it, and also their physical abilities and the way that they play it, and those kind of things play off. Like, for instance, Salyn is a bigger guy. He looks like he's big enough to play hooker. Actually, I think he's even bigger than the hooker. But, you know, like, it's like that kind of thing. So, like, I would look at Salyn and think, well, because he's a bigger guy, his defense will come a lot better because of his size. When you run out of forwards, and then you have to have a halfback sort of there taking that pressure, he's big enough and he's strong enough to hold that pressure as well. Not just making safe tackles like halfbacks usually do, but also making solid, impactful tackles to the point where he can actually hit them and then drive them back, which I've actually seen him do before a couple of times. And these are to, like, forwards. So, like, Salyn's got it sort of that side, where Jay Renton has it into a point where, because he's smaller, skinnier, because he's quite a tall guy at the same time, he's I think he's a lot quicker around the field. He's a lot quicker from breakdown to breakdown, and so the speed and size thing sort of evens it out, kind of in a kind of way where you start looking at the packs and what they can and can't do. So and that both of them have really good passes. Both of them are really accurate. I think, you know, going from ruck to ruck, Jay would beat him to each ruck, but the delivery of the ball will come out, a lot accurate, like really good tight passes as well. I think Salyn's got a better organized game to himself, and I think that's on part of him, because he's a real chatty kind of vocal guy. And at the same time, he has a good pack that sort of knows how to fall into place. And Jay, even though he is one of those guys that can control a forward pack, he doesn't have the same quality forwards. And in sort of the whole big scheme of things in terms of the forward pack that he has, I think the Mags forward pack as a whole is a lot more talented. So Salyn has an easier job to get his boys into place, and then putting their game plan together, and so his organisation is a lot easier and swifter. Where Jay has to work maybe a little bit harder, where he relies on certain forwards within the forward pack to get where he's going, and so yeah, like those kind of things are what I would watch out for, or that I'm going to watch out for. Jay Renton also has a very good attacking ability going towards the line. Like he's like every pass that he steps towards the line, baiting guys to come in, and then he's got a very good way of looking at guys that bite on that bait real easy, and then he's got a really quick pass out of his hip, where he hits guys who are kind of on the run, and they attack that point where he knows that those guys have been stepping out on defense. And so like that's what I like about Jay as well, and the way that he does things. This battle is going to be interesting. I really like both sides of it, and I like how both players approach the game, and they do know their strengths. Both of them really IQ talent wise, their IQ of the game is really high as well. When I've watched some game film, like I've just been watching Jay Renton's game against John McGlashan and the way that he did things, and I just like his gameplay and how he trucks around the field in terms of guiding his forwards. And so like if I was to pick one of them, I would take Jay over Salyn, but it's just by the smallest of margins. Both are really talented, and it's going to be a good battle. So that's one that I'm going to be watching out for. So when you watch it on TV, have a look at those two and how they play, and then see what you think. All right, this is Herschel Fruin. Look more for these head-to-heads. Peace.